Yeah, I've seen people saying that the stubble makes me look like a young Brad Pitt. And I don't disagree. Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United news and transfer news. And we've got four big stories for you today. And I think actually, one's about Koulibaly, Timo Werner, Premier League and Bellingham. And I think you'll either come out of this transfer window feeling positive or you'll come out of it feeling concerned. You might feel a little bit of both, cum si cum sa. But we'll fly straight into it. Let's start off with Koulibaly then. So, a few of you mentioned this on the show last night, and I wasn't aware of the story until I'd finished. But apparently, Sky Italia are reporting that Manchester United have made an €80 million bid for Koulibaly. This has been picked up by some of the British press. I think the fact that it's not been picked up by loads sort of tells you what this story is all about. And I think the meat on the bones of this Koulibaly story is this, that Napoli are basically saying it's not enough. €80 million is not enough. They want more like €100 million, which is £90 million. So United allegedly offering about 72 million English pounds, €80 million for Koulibaly. Is there anything in this? I think United just keep getting used in this situation. I really do. We know we wanted Koulibaly under Mourinho and we probably made a decent offer that got rejected. But that was 2 years ago. I think the situation with Koulibaly is somewhat similar to that of Pogba's, where you've got a player that at the end of the day isn't in turmoil about staying where he is, but would quite fancy a move. And Koulibaly's been linked to a move for at least the last 3 summers and he's not got it. He can't get the move because Napoli have him under a big contract and they value him way above what people want to pay for him. So Koulibaly will probably end up staying at Napoli, but I think he would quite fancy a move. So I think what happens with Koulibaly, much the same as with Pogba, there is an agent trying to do a deal. So Manchester United get mentioned, Real Madrid, whatever, get mentioned with Pogba. And I think that's what's happening here. I don't think Manchester United are bidding for Koulibaly. And to be honest with you, if they have bid 72 million and it's been rejected, walk away. Walk away. Cast sang the Scouse band, unfortunately, but it's you do all you've got to do. Walk away, walk away, walk away. And I would walk away from this. Walk away from it. Because I actually think, even before the financial crisis, Koulibaly £65 million max. Koulibaly £60 million tops. That's where I would go with that. For them to want 90 million now, we're mugged off. A lot of people say we got mugged off with the Harry Maguire deal. I don't think we got mugged off. I think we paid a little bit too much, but it was worth United doing the deal. Koulibaly's 29 this summer, I think. It's a lot of money. And you know what? I'm going to stick by what I said about Saunaghez and I'm going to stick by what I've said about Koulibaly. United aren't in for Koulibaly. United haven't got the funds for Koulibaly. We're looking at spending a lot of money on a right winger in Sancho. We're potentially looking at a midfielder as well. And I think that might be our business. We're not going to have 70 to 80 million pounds to spend on Koulibaly. And we've got a big show coming up at 8 o'clock tonight talking about United's finances because there's been a few things coming out recently. But yeah, I don't see United in for Koulibaly. I think he's a player who wants a move. I think United are getting used. I think Napoli, as Fabrizio Romano said a few weeks ago, are a very well-run club that won't sell on the cheap. They will probably sell Koulibaly, much the same as Lazio will sell Milinkovic-Savic, as we said yesterday, but they'll only do it, and as Bayer Leverkusen said yesterday about Havertz, they will sell them, but they'll sell them for the price that they want to sell them for, and I don't think those prices are going to be forthcoming. And to be honest with you, Koulibaly, he's never played in the Premier League. He is one of the world's centre-backs for what he's done in Serie A, but he's also 29, and you're going to drop him into the Premier League for 90 million? No, United aren't doing this deal, I'm sorry. The next one is a bit of it is a blow. It is a transfer blow. This was coming out from the Transfer Podcast with Duncan Castles saying that effectively, a lot of the reports are saying that, and they're quoting this podcast for it, that Timo Werner, as agent, has told Manchester United and Chelsea to effectively back off because Timo Werner has agreed terms with Liverpool, a certain number of years and £140,000 a week. And Liverpool now just need to sort the fee out with RB Leipzig, which actually is £49 million for the next 12 days. But obviously Liverpool want to pay less. And this feeds into what I said a week ago, isn't it? That I think United have an interest in Werner, but it has that interest basically ended a few days ago because of Ighalo signing, and United have had to move on because they realised they can't get Werner. I don't know. But I always felt that when Liverpool started saying they weren't going to pay £49 million for Leipzig for Werner, they were on a strong wicket because if they don't pay 49 million, United or Chelsea or somebody else would. So why would Liverpool, who want Werner, say publicly, effectively, let it go out there that they're not paying £49 million? Because they know the player wants to come to them, so they know they can play hardball. And this is apparently what the situation is. There is interest in Werner. There are clubs who want to pay his release clause because they feel it's a good deal. But Werner's representatives are saying, forget it, he wants to go to Liverpool. So Liverpool now have got Leipzig by the you-know-what, because they know that the player's adamant that he wants to go to them. So they'll be able to push the price down. And yet again, Liverpool have done a fantastic deal and they won't even pay the proper price for it by the sounds of it. So it's a crazy world, isn't it? But it's a real example of how to work in the transfer window, because United never get to do this. We never get a player who is adamantly wanting to come to us and drives the price down. Like Harry Maguire loves Manchester United. He's the captain of Manchester United. Did he drive the price down with Leicester? No. He was like, I respect Leicester. If United want to do a deal, they've got to speak to Leicester. I'm happy here. And we ended up paying 80 million. Wan-Bissaka, the same. Bruno Fernandes, the same. So, it's interesting. And I'm not knocking any of those. That's not what I'm doing here. What I'm saying is, actually, it says a lot about those personalities of those players, that they appreciate the clubs that they're at, and they're like, look, I ain't going to push this because I respect Leicester, I respect Palace, United will have to sort out the deal, and they did. But Liverpool, time and time again, seem to get people very, very cheap, and we don't. And, it's a crazy situation when you've got RB Leipzig, and he's got a £49 million release clause, which is cheap. He's worth about 80 million easy. £49 million release clause. You've probably got teams like United and Chelsea saying, we will pay you that, we'll pay you that. And RB Leipzig are saying, yeah, we want to take that. And Timo Werner and his agent are saying, forget it, we want to go to Liverpool. And they won't pay 49 million, they want to pay 35. And RB Leipzig are like, hold on a minute. We've got a player who's forcing a move and we're going to lose 14 or 15 million from it. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But it's not looking good for United. And I did say that Liverpool always were the favourites for Werner, but United needed to get in the race. And if you don't win the race, you don't win the race. And ultimately, we will never know if United were in the race or not. I think they were interested, but it's looking like he's going to Liverpool, unfortunately. On more positive news, Jude Bellingham. There was a report in the ESPN yesterday talking about this, and you can read it one way of two, really. ESPN are saying that United might struggle to get Bellingham because of cash flow. Birmingham are in need of money, and they will want a significant payment up front to allow Bellingham to go. It's not that easy with the Bellingham deal. I'll tell you that for a fact. It's not that easy with the Bellingham deal because there are things around Bellingham and his age and signing a professional contract and whether he's done that yet. And actually, could he just walk away from Birmingham for nothing? Which he won't do because he has a loyalty to Birmingham for giving him the chance and they want Birmingham to get something. So there will be a fee paid regardless. But United against Dortmund, I would say, in the Bellingham race. And look, United can't not win the Bellingham race because Birmingham want 20 million. I mean, that would be... If United walked away from the Bellingham deal because they can't find 20 million, that would be stupid. We're not talking about finding 80 million for Koulibaly here or 50 million for Timo Werner. We're talking about £20 million for a player who is one of the best young talents in world football at the moment. And I think United need to find that money. Dortmund will have the money. Dortmund are a very well-run club. They buy cheap and they sell high, and they've got lots of money, and they can afford to get Bellingham, and they will absolutely see that. And they will be selling that to Bellingham now. They will be saying, look, we know you're not going to be here for a decade. You come here, you play first-team football. In 2 or 3 years' time, we'll let you go for about 100 million. We've made our money. You've developed your career. So there's a clear career path for Bellingham there. So United need to get in this race because ultimately, I would look at it like that. If Bellingham goes to Dortmund, the chances are he'll develop and he'll go for 100 million in a couple of years. If United want to get in that equation then, they're going to have to pay another 80 million than they pay now. And they also might not win that because he might go Madrid or Liverpool or anything. So United need to box a little bit clever here. Get the money out, pay for Bellingham, get him to United, and you've got him. And I think that's what we need to do. And we've certainly got the money to do that. It's just, have we got the appetite to do it? So we'll see what happens with that one. Also, let's talk about the Premier League. There will be an update today on the Premier League fixtures. So we've all been speculating about when and who Man United will be playing. We know that 2 weeks yesterday, it will be Arsenal, Man City and Sheffield United Villa. But we also know that games will be played then from Friday all the way through. There's going to be games every day. So basically Friday at 8 o'clock. There's going to be, I think there's 4 fixtures on a Saturday, 4 fixtures on a Sunday, one after the other. They'll never play at the same time. And then Monday night football, Tuesday night football, Wednesday night football, Thursday night football, Friday night football, and the same again. The rumour is that Manchester United will be playing Spurs on a Friday night football game at 8 o'clock. So it'll be 2 weeks tomorrow, that game. And then we will find out what games are going to be free to air, because some games are going to be free to air, some will be under Sky and BT and Amazon. So we'll find that out today. We'll find out those first few fixtures today. And I would predict it will be Manchester United against Spurs on Friday night football, because I think we already know that the Everton-Liverpool Merseyside derby is going to be on Freeview, which means it will probably be on Monday night football or something like that. The interesting thing is, and I don't think we spoke about it last night, in fact I know we didn't, is that obviously Spurs have got a staff member who has now tested positive. Now, keep your eye on that, because it could be that no other Spurs player tests positive, or it could be that that staff member has been around the players, and there might be further tests in the future that reveal Spurs players have got it, which would then jeopardise not only United's game, but the return of the Premier League, but probably more likely the return of the Premier League. Not the return of the Premier League, the Man United Spurs game, so keep an eye on that. I don't think the Premier League is going to suspend or cancel unless they have to, and that would mean widespread infection across the whole country of the Premier League. I think what you might see is some games having to be, postponed or whatever. So we'll have to wait and see how that happens. And the reason I say that is there was something I read yesterday that if the Premier League gets cancelled, £760 million has got to be paid back to broadcasters. Now there's 20 clubs in the Premier League, so £760 million works out at around 40 million quid each, which is, and it'll probably be more for us and less for others, because the broadcasting rights, we're on the telly more. So probably about 50 million quid for someone like United and Liverpool. So £50 million is quite a significant amount of money to have to pay back when you think about transfers and stuff that you want to pay out. So the Premier League will want to get this done, and clubs will want to get this done as well. So much so that apparently Ed Woodward said on a meeting of all the Premier League clubs that teams are basically naive if they think that you can't have relegation, because there was that talk as well. So, look, I think that we'll see what the fixtures are, and hopefully they can get a hold of this infection rate within the Premier League. They've done very well. They've only got 1 out of the current testing. Hopefully that can go back to 0, and we can keep working towards football coming back. But as I said, and I'll keep saying it, the players and the staff members in their own time need to be monitoring what they're doing, social distance and all that, because you get paid a lot of money. And when you're at home, you're being paid. Like, you're being paid to be at home as well. So stop pissing off down the local park and kicking about with your mates. Stop going out and doing things that you shouldn't be doing. And, for the next 6 weeks, behave. Stay safe, stay alert. You're being tested like you're bloody nuclear scientists at the moment when you go to work. You've got the best medical care in the country. Behave at home, because otherwise you're going to jeopardise a lot of things. That's what we need to happen, definitely. Look, in summary then, Koulibaly bid, I don't think so, but, never say never, but I'm going to say never on that one. Werner, I think it was worth a go, but Liverpool were always the favourites, and if Liverpool are going to win that race, I will say it right here, right now. Liverpool for the title next year for me. I think they've been head and shoulders above everybody else this year, and I think if they are going to add in a player like Werner, they're adding in another 20 to 30 goals a season in a front line that wasn't struggling for goals. So I think they're going to be very, very hard to stop, and I think he's a very good signing, much the same as I said for Fabinho. Bellingham, I think United have got to get that deal done. I know we're up against Dortmund, but he's English. He's 16. We're in England. It's least disruption. We're a big club. We need to get that deal done. And I'd be disappointed if we didn't, because although it's one for the future, it's a significant one for the future without a doubt. Please do smash a like on the video, everybody. Get your comments in below. Subscribe if you're new. We're back live again at 8 o'clock tonight. Big show tonight, actually. We're going to be talking about, I'm sure there'll be other stuff to talk about as well. We're going to be delving deeper into the finances of Manchester United, because there's sort of 2 stories at the moment as to whether there is money or whether there isn't money. But there is evidence out there to suggest an answer to that one way or another. So we'll be talking about that amongst other things on the live show at 8 o'clock. Have a great day. Smash a like on the video, and I will speak to you very soon.